Hello, everybody, and welcome to the White Hatter YouTube News Show. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Darren.
Let's get into some news topics, shall we?
In the news.
First news topic is Discord's new policies ban dangerous health misinformation among other categories, including
so what's going on here?
Including banning spam, manipulative bots, fake accounts, bad faith accounts, reporting a malicious impersonation of others, and guidelines that also forbid hate linked to age, caste, gender, and identity, and serious illness.
This shouldn't really surprise us. I mean, Discord is a big up-and-comer right now, especially with youth right now, right? Like, I actually think Discord and Twitch are probably going to bump out, the top 4 in North America of youth right now in no particular order are Instagram, YouTube, which is also the second largest search engine too, right?
Yep.
Snapchat and TikTok. Those are the top 4. I actually think Discord and Twitch are going to bump out IG. I think they're going to bump out IG into the top 4 just because of how popular it is, right? Like, you use Discord a lot, right?
Yeah.
So what is Discord for those people who are watching?
Just another social network that kind of gives users a lot more customizable control in terms of how they can use their account.
And who are using it mostly?
Well, Discord had a history of being a gamer communications platform, but now it has expanded into the tech industry along with just other community groups. So Discord's definitely developed its user base quite a lot over the last decade. And, a lot of people use Discord because it has a lot less oversight compared to things like Facebook and Instagram.
No,
and
Meta,
yes.
not Facebook, Meta.
And a lot less ads per se. So Discord definitely has some appeals to it, but don't think that what you post on Discord, even in your private server, won't be seen or scanned by Discord.
Mind.
Yeah,
for sure.
So,
but it's a pretty cool platform, right? Like, a lot of youth are now turning to it and as a way just to communicate with one another. So it really shouldn't surprise us that as a result of that, because it's becoming more popular, there's more light being shone on them, and so as a result of that, they're having to take into account accountability and all those types of issues. So good on Discord. Yeah.
Next article.
That's
interesting article. Titled "You Cannot Copyright AI-Generated Art," according to U.S. officials.
So just before you go on to this, I just wrote an article that's on our blog called "NFTs, Non-Fungible Tokens," right? Which is kind of what this is, right?
In a way. So I think I added this article because it can relate to NFTs in a significant way. Okay. So an artist, Dr. Stephen Fowler, has attempted to copyright a piece of artwork that is AI artificially generated.
And that's it right there.
That's it right there.
Yeah. It's kind of pretty, actually. And when you think about it, it was no human involvement whatsoever. It's all AI generated.
Yeah, they called it their creativity machine in terms of how it created these images. And then they attempted to then submit the image to the U.S. Copyright Office in order to test if they will copyright this. And according to the U.S. Copyright Office, what they stated was there has to be human involvement in order for something to be classified and protected under copyright. Now, the reason why I added this for kind of discussion is there's a lot of NFTs out there that are artificially generated.
And think of an NFT basically for us boomers that are watching as the old hockey cards or baseball cards, right? Where you get one of a kind, like it's the Bobby Orr card and nobody else has it and you own it, right? So that's kind of what an NFT is.
To a degree, yeah.
And an NFT kind of allows the creator, be it from music, a movie, or artwork, claim copyright, and then they sell it online for a form of cryptocurrency.
More so claiming ownership or what they are stating is their proof of ownership.
So this could be a real landmine for NFT people who are trading NFTs and stuff, right?
Very potentially. There was another NFT. There was a trend where people were creating NFT of colors, and people were claiming that you own this particular shade of color.
Oh,
that itself is also a very interesting way.
Everybody looking for their edge, right?
Getting
that edge, getting that financial benefit.
I own this particular shade of blue, and then therefore it's mine. It's very. I think this and
now this is an opinion too, right? It's not a legal court decision. This is an opinion from the U.S. Copyright Office. Right?
That's their stance on it. So obviously the doctor is intending to take it to court to then have a court rule on it. But courts ruling on a copyright can be a very
tedious.
A very tedious process.
I do think it's going to be interesting to see what the courts say on this. I do think that this also emphasizes, again, for those who aren't watching that don't know what an NFT is, we've been getting lots of questions actually from middle school and high school students about NFTs in our program. So that's why we wrote the article about it. But it's there for parents, caregivers, and even teens to read about. But at the very end of that article, we suggest we might want to stay away from this because it's still too early and there's a lot of fraud going on with NFTs, and this in itself could also throw a big monkey wrench. So you may be putting money in and you may not get any of that back. So you got to be careful, right?
Yeah, in that the NFT image you own may not be copyrighted in and of itself.
Correct.
And therefore,
what if the person created the own they didn't use AI, but they created the image themselves? Then that would escape outside of the U.S. Copyright Office.
Yeah, so there are NFTs that are hand-drawn.
Correct.
Which therefore involves human involvement, which then would have copyrighted ability for that.
Yeah. But they're talking strictly AI generated.
Yes, and that's the argument the doctor here is trying to make.
Interesting. It'll be interesting to watch what happens in the court on that one for sure. I think the doctor might have a good leg to stand on that. So
potentially.
Yeah.
Interesting article from security industry.
I don't get it, though.
Airtag clone can sidestep Apple anti-stalker tech. So some security researchers in Germany basically reverse engineered an AirTag using its technology, and they created their own mimicked AirTag, and they were able to make it in a way so it wouldn't indicate or activate the anti-stalking mechanics that Apple had built into those AirTags.
That's what the U.S. government did with the UFO to create the F-35 fighter jet. They re-engineered or back-engineered a UFO. Where's my tinfoil hat? Just saying. But here's my question on this one. Why? Why would you want to do that? I mean, it makes no sense to me. Creating a clone version of it. Why? You got the real version. And number two, there's so many other options out on the market if you really want to track somebody using GPS or Bluetooth that are far less expensive, right?
Yeah, I mean, there could be a way of, this could be a business move for, say, a company to then create and produce knock off Apple AirTags.
Oh, I guarantee you, though, Apple will go after them. Because if they're using any kind of technology to do a certain thing, you got to know Apple has trademarked it, and they'll go after them. They'll sue them. Like we saw that.
That doesn't stop any of the other knockoff Apple products that exist in the world.
No, but Apple goes very hard. It's much like Disney, when Disney goes after anybody who puts anything on the market with their representative. But again, I'm trying to think why would you
I
do
don't
this?
know. There could be a factory outside North America who then produces these potential knockoffs, and then they sell them internationally.
Maybe a country that has a red flag with a... Anyways.
Yes. So, I mean, this could be a business move. So we might be able to see knockoff AirTags that then integrate into Apple's network potentially.
And then Apple will just recognize those and nuke them.
Well, it's hard because what the researchers identify is that the codes and the AirTags are not unique. Oh. They're more generic.
So Apple will just change the code and make it more unique.
But they're not designed that way.
But it's just a software, right?
Yeah, but then that would make all current AirTags on the market in the public not work.
Unless you can update the software on the AirTag.
Maybe.
I don't know. But again, I'm thinking
but how they're designed, according to the researchers who reverse engineered it's just a hard coded kind of code.
Whenever I hear reverse engineering, I think Area 51.
Yeah. So, anyways, what does this mean for consumers? Nothing at this point in time, but I think we can kind of think about in the future where people could make knockoff tags at a cheaper price.
I guess.
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
Things to look for.
Yeah.
Last article for today. Facebook has turned...
Meta.
Yes. Facebook turns on the lock profile tool for people who have accounts in the Ukraine.
Great idea, but here's my question. Why don't they just make that available to everybody around the world?
Yeah, so the lock profile tool is like a super privacy button that Facebook can turn on, which basically makes your pictures and timeline inaccessible to folks who are not your close friends.
like Russia if you're in Ukraine right now. But I mean, why not make this available to everybody around the world?
Yeah, this is not the first time Facebook has Meta has enabled this tool. But again, there are people who find themselves in dangerous situations all over the world, and wouldn't it be cool if they have a one press button to then super secure their account?
A really good example of that. We do a lot of work with women's transition houses for women who are leaving abusive relationships. Wouldn't it be great if they had this as an option? Like, think about it, right? And there's many other cases as well. But hello, Facebook, maybe make this available as an option to turn on for anybody who wants to use it. But obviously, by doing that, Facebook...
It makes their accounts Meta. Unusable for other users. So it kind of defeats the purpose of Facebook being a social network if everyone's accounts are super privatized.
Except for people who the person want to have the ability to see it, right?
But then how does Facebook grow? So, True.
You know, coming out of this Ukraine, you know, my thoughts and prayers are with the Ukraine people and what's going on in that country right now. But isn't it kind of cool to see how tech companies are now stepping up to the plate to help those in Ukraine and other countries like Russia actually see what's going on, like Musk and his opening up of Starlink or
Starlink.
You know, so you know Russia can go ahead and try and stop internet and you know put walls around it, or in other countries as well. But now, if a person has the ability to connect to satellite, they'll be able to still access the internet. Yeah. So what's Russia going to do? Shoot down the satellites of Elon Musk? That'd be kind of interesting.
That would create bigger conflicts than what's going on right now.
I mean, so good on them.
Signal also reported that it has an increase of users.
So what's Signal again for people?
Signal is a encrypted end-to-end communications app. So if you're texting with somebody, no one can see your messages except for the person who the message is intended for.
Yeah, like if I'm a Ukrainian cell looking to attack a Russian aggressors coming in, then I could connect with another cell via Signal to communicate encryptly so that those in Russia can't see what's going on.
Yeah, unless Russia had the phone that which you send a message to. That's the only weakness in the communication, but that's any communication. Yeah. So, we're seeing a lot of tech innovations and tools being implemented in Ukraine.
Yeah, to asymmetrically deal with what has been dealt with symmetrically by countries before. But now people are finding ways around using technology asymmetrically to benefit their position, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was very interesting that just the other day, I'm just hooked on the news right now, what's going on over there, how Ukraine used some drones that they received from another country to attack some of the Russian columns that are coming in, right? Like these little drones and stuff. It was just unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
And now, you know, this giving them the option to do this Signal, Musk's use of Starlink to allow these people to have internet access, especially in places like Russia where they're trying to control what the general public is seeing, which is actually going on. So through dis and misinformation. So it's very interesting to see what's going on for sure. Again, my thoughts are with those in Ukraine and families around the world who still have family in the Ukraine. And it's kind of scary to see where this could go, right? When you think about it, right? It really is. So anyways.
And that's our news topics for this week.
Another good, quick show. Quick and dirty.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you all next time. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.